नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरचैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, 4th chapter, verse number 2. ते संहारय दोषेण विसंकृत चेतसां निम्नलोचति राभव असीद् वेणुनामेव मर्दनम्। ते संहारय दोषेण विसंकृत चेतसां निम्नलोचति राभव असीद् वेणुनामेव मर्दनम्। They, some of them, Maria, of intoxication, dosena, by the false, Visamkrita, became unbalanced, Chetasam, of those of whom the minds, Nimnalochati, sets, Ravao, the sun, Asit, takes place, Venunam, of the bamboos, Eva, is, Mardanam, destruction. Purport translation by Srila Prabhupada. As by the friction of the bamboos destruction takes place, so also at sunset, by the interaction of the falls of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When there is need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to the friction among the bamboos. Similarly, the destruction of Yadu were all destroyed by the will of the Lord, by the process of self-destruction. Just as there is no possibility of a fire occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there is no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed the order. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakrunmritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamyaham Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamadam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitam Cha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्प तरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शादी गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for this for joining today for this Srimad Bhagavatam class. I have been asked to prepare about this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 4, verse number 2. My knowledge is very limited. I'm not qualified. So I will take each of the assembled senior Vaishnavas blessings so that I can utter the right word at the right consciousness for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, so that I can glorify the Supreme Lord with my limited knowledge. So in this particular verse, we see the discussion between Uddhava and Vidura, where there are two important aspects have been discussed. One is the self-destruction, another is the will of the Lord. So in further slides, we'll be focusing on these two particular aspects, the self-destruction and the will of the Lord. So if we think about the will of the Lord, generally our Srila Prabhupada, most of the times he, most of all his lectures, he refers to a particular Bengali verse, Rakhe Krishna mare Krishna rakhe ke. Which means if Krishna desires to kill somebody, nobody can give him protection, no power, no authority. And if he wants to save somebody, nobody can kill him. This is Krishna's protection. So you can see in the example of Maharaj Parikshit. When Maharaj Parikshit was in the womb of Uttara Maharani, Aswathama wanted to kill Parikshit Maharaj, so that the entire Kuru dynasty, Kuru dynasty, Pandavas dynasty will be extinguished, will be vanquished. So he said he had put a Brahmastra, but at the same time, Krishna appeared there, and with his Sudarshan Chakra, he rescued Parikshit Maharaj. Now the same Parikshit Maharaj, if we go further, so Parikshit Maharaj is a Kshatriya king. He is doing the protection of the earth, and when he is moving through a forest, he feels thirsty, and he is putting a dead snake on the neck of the sage, and we know after that what happened. He got the curse. Now if we analyze again here how the contradiction happens, the same Parikshit Maharaj is feeling thirsty over here, and he wants to drink water, but after when he is aroused and he is going to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, same Parikshit Maharaj is not feeling thirsty, he is not feeling hungry, and he started for 7 days to listen Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord's glories. And after that, Parikshit Maharaj has to leave this material planet. So all these things is by the Lord's plan, is by the Lord's will. In Kurukshetra war, Abhimanyu, who is Krishna's nephew, who is son of Subhadra Devi, who is son of Arjun, in front of Krishna in the same arena of Kurukshetra war, Abhimanyu was killed and Krishna was there. So everything is everything whatever we see here, everything is by plan. So this particular pastime, and we'll go further in detail how to see about this. In Bhagavad Gita in chapter 9 verse 31, Krishna boldly declares that Nama Bhakta Prasanti. That means that my devotee never perishes. And here we see this Jadavas who are Krishna's devotees, who are Krishna's associates, who could be, who are different, very loving to Krishna, who had loving relationship. Some of them used to say at the same chariots, they used to sit together, do all the activities together, and those devotees were annihilated by Krishna's will. So understanding this Krishna's pastime is very difficult. If you think from a neophyte point of view, or a devotee or a person who has very less faith, he gets bewildered, he gets confused. But if you look from a devotee point of view, so we can understand Krishna's pastime because we are surrendered to Krishna. We have firm faith on Krishna's decision. Whatever Krishna does is good. Krishna is the final cause. Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. So Sarva Karanam Karanam. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Krishna is the creator, Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the annihilator. So again Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Afijananti ma mudhaha manusim tanum asritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. So from an ordinary mental speculation, if we think this kind of leaders is going to bewilder us. So this Krishna's appearance in this material planet is just like it can be compared to sun. Like sun rises in the morning, in the horizon, again we see the sun is setting. Basically, sun is still in the same place because our intelligence is very limited. We think that sun is rising, sun is setting, but sun is steady in the same place. Similarly, when if we see these leelas of Krishna's, of these Jadavas, of the most leela, similarly, basically here Krishna is same. Krishna is there. Krishna is not going anywhere. Basically, Krishna is doing his leela in either one horizon or the other horizon. He is either doing this leela in one universe or another universe. So everything is Krishna's pre-planned things. Now let's discuss more about the will of the Lord. Now if we see the Jadava dynasty are expansion of Krishna. each of them were having similar power and portfolio like Krishna. So this Jadava, when this Mahabharata war was ended and Maharaj Yudhishthir was throned as a king, then Krishna saw that this Jadava's like strength is becoming unbearable for the earth. The Jadavas are very, very powerful. No person outside this Jadava community could ever bring the defeat of this family. So Krishna was in thinking, like maybe after my departure, after I leave this material planet, these Jadavas could be a threat to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is reciprocative to Krishna's will. So if Krishna is reciprocal to Krishna's all desire, so you see, since Jadavas are very dear to Krishna, so Mother Earth will definitely tolerate the Jadavas after Krishna is about to his spiritual planet. So now, in the Kurukshetra war, there are so many warriors, so many Jadavas they took part. Krishna's even Akhyamani Sena, they also took part from the Kaurava side, and everybody were killed. Now there are few survivors from the Kurukshetra war. From them, there are two important Jadava heroes were there. They're Satyaki and Kritavarma. Satyaki and Kritavarma were very, very powerful, very, very potent. In fact, Satyaki had different other good qualities also. He was a very nice physician. So Satyaki fought from the Pandava side and Kritavarma fought from the Kaurava side. So once upon a time, Satyaki and Kritavarma were very, very close friends before this Kurukshetra war. In the Kurukshetra war, they fought from the other sides and they were the survivors. But after the Kurukshetra war also, both of them came to Dwarika. They were staying with Krishna. Now, in the previous verses, we have seen how Krishna has advised all his Jadavas to go to Prabhas Khetra, so to do some Tarpan ceremony because Krishna has advised that we all have rinis from our forefathers, from the sages, and he has to get rid of he has to put oblations. So he has taken everybody over there. So now all these Jadavas have assembled in this Prabhas Khetra, and when the Jadavas have come out from the Prabhas Khetra, they have come for the Tirtha Yatra, like we go for a Tirtha Yatra, we go in a nice mood and a holy mood. So they have also gone. In general, the Jadavas are warriors and fighters. So, but when they have come for the Tirtha Yatra, they don't have any weapons in their hand. Here they have offered so many nice offerings to the sages, and they have provided very nice prasads to the Brahmanas, and after that they have taken the prasad from the remaining prasad from the Brahmanas. They have honored that, and they have as far as like they took some kind of rice liquor, which is discussed in the last verse. So due to this fault of intoxication, their mind got imbalanced, and they started, due to the imbalanced mind, they were not realizing that what they are saying, and that some kind of verbal argument arises between Satyaki and Kritavarma. So this is a small minor thing, like sometimes when we say here or there things, we don't realize that how we are hurting the other person. So Satyaki said some harsh words to Kritavarma, and Kritavarma also replied back, and side by side, I don't want to go more in detail into that. That will be an entire topic, different topic. So Satyaki and Kritavarma had some verbal arguments. Then there happened, some different groups. If you see in this picture, all the Yadavas are fighting with each other. So there are different groups, and they don't have any weapon. Their main weapon is their like word of mouth. So from this word of mouth, you can heal somebody. From this word of mouth, you can also kill somebody. So here there is no weapon, and they saw that nearby in this area, in the ocean side, there are some grasses have come out. So out of anger and everything, they tried to pull those grasses out. Those grasses are actually groups of canes that come out from the iron dust. So earlier classes we saw that how Samba was trying to fool a sage, and because of the sage cause, this iron piece could be a cause of the devastation. So based on some senior Jadavas' advice, the Jadavas, the Samba and the young boys try to rob these iron pieces, so that they can destroy it. They could not, while they were robbing the iron pieces, some of the iron dust tried to fly out, and they were on the soil of the Pravas Kshetra. So this, if when Krishna was there, everything was fertile. So the Pravas Kshetra was fertile. This iron dust, when they were on this ocean side in the soil, on the sand, from this iron dust, grasses came out. They are spiky, just like irons. So now Satyaki and Kritavarma and the followers, they try to pull out those grasses, and they try to hit with each other. They try to hit each other, and they try to kill each other. And in due process, entire Jadu dynasty was annihilated. If you see now, there are so many weapons in this world we're preparing. In the World War I and II, we used to use nuclear bomb. So and so many devastation happens. And now also there are so many in different countries. There are so many fight goes on. So many weapons are used. But in this case, if we see, simply because of the intoxication and the pride and the false ego, and without any weapon, the Yadavas fought with each other, and entire Jadu dynasty was annihilated. Now, if we see in the second perspective point of view, if we see that Krishna has realized that now all the anarthas have disappeared from the earth, but still there are certain over there. They might come out due to this Yadava dynasty, because they are thinking that they are my sons and my kids, and they are thinking that they are proprietor of me, and there could be there could be some problem for the mother earth, for the like innocent citizens. So when Krishna decided to go for the leave this material planet for the spiritual abode, after all his leelas are done, he thought that he will take all this Yadava dynasty, all of whoever have come to assist him in the leela, he will take them along with them. Now, on a similar note, if we see, we can see that when in the Satyajug, when Jagannath temple was installed, Lord Brahma came and he does the fire sacrifice, and Jagannath ji was very pleased with this magnanimous temple and Gundicha Maharani's all contribution, King Indra's contribution. So she asked Gundicha Maharani, you ask a boon to me. So what Gundicha Maharani asked to the boon, actually basically, nobody will ask. Gundicha Maharani asked, if you really want to give a boon to me, you give the boon that I should be always childless. So Jagannath was surprised. A lady, how can he tell that I should not have a child? We all desire to have kids. So here Gundicha Maharani is saying that I should not have any kids. So then Gundicha Maharani explained that this Jagannath temple is there and you are the Lord over there. Now I am here, I will take care of you. But later on, when I am not there, somebody my future generation might feel that you belong to them, this temple belong to them. Then the common citizens who are here, the common devotees, might be getting deprived of your darshan. So that's why Gundicha Maharani did this sacrifice, and to till today, as a Jagannath ji as a reciprocation takes care of Gundicha Maharani as a reciprocation to her. Now here, if we see on this verse, Prabhupada has explained that in the forest the fire occurs without any human effort. It's because of the bamboos. Now let's discuss a little bit about that. Now if you read in the newspaper, we see so many forest fires are happening. So nobody goes to the forest to set a fire. In the forest there are so many plants. In India there are so many bamboo plants are there in the forest. The bamboo plants, in the summer sometimes the leaves dried up, and the plants they rub with each other. When they rub with each other, a spark happens. From the spark, the fire ignites, and the entire forest gets annihilated. Entire forest gets vanquished. So similarly, we can compare this material world is our samsara is kind of we can compare this with a samsara banal kind of thing. You can compare it. Entire material world is filled with anarthas, and there is fire all around. There is fire within us. We have lost anger, greed, all kind of things inside us. Outside also, like with our dealings also, unnecessarily we create sometimes enemies, due to which there is fighting. So it happens. So how this happens? So how this fire is going to vanquish from the forest? So we cannot take a bucket of water and put on the fire so that the fire will get vanquished. It will only get vanquished because there will be torrents of raindrops all of a sudden, and entire fire will get extinguished. So no fire brigade and no personal activity, no personal effort, the fire can be vanquished. The fire is set by the will of the Lord, and the fire is set, fire is extinguished by the will of the Lord. These two things we can, we can think over here. So now this material world, if we see now, actually our acharyas have explained in the Gurubhastakam prayer, Sangsara taba nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghana tvam, that this material world is compared to is samsara. Here there's always fire over here. As we discussed earlier, the fire inside and outside. So how it will get vanquished? It will get vanquished only by the will, only by the mercy of our spiritual master or a Suddha Guru. And this guru here is compared to a cloud. This cloud is floating in the air and is carrying the raindrops. The raindrops as a kind of Karuna Bari. They're kind of the guru carry actually the mercy of the Lord through his words, through his preaching, and through his qualities. So if we follow this Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, all these like Dabanala which is inside us, it will get vanquished. Now if we see that if we come now, going back to the previous slide, we see that Satyaki and Kritavarma, the fight between them. Now in the real life also, we see that there are so many exalted devotees will be there. Somebody will be very good at book distribution, somebody will be very good at cooking, somebody will be very good at preaching. But sometimes due to proprietorship between them, that a small argument starts between them. Both the devotees will be working out very nicely in the cohesion for the betterment of the congregation, but all of a sudden due to some misunderstanding, there will be some kind of commotion. Then there will be groupism between them, and then we have seen that entire congregation, sometimes some cases they got affected. So as a devotee point of view, we should always try how to avoid this kind of frictions. So like the bamboos, when they rub with each other, there is a friction. This is kind of a negative friction. So as a devotee, we should always attempt how this kind of negative friction should not appear between us. So there are 3 gates to hell is discussed in Bhagavad Gita. There are lust, anger, and greed. So it says that krodha bhavati sammoha. So because of this, from anger, delusion appears. Yeah, and from that the bewilderment starts. Now from the conclusion point of view, we can see here that we should avoid as long as the friction, this kind of negative friction between us. So Satchidanand Maharaj nicely explained in one of the last lectures in Bhakti Center that if you want to polish a diamond, basically those diamonds you keep inside a bag and you shake them nicely. When you shake them nicely, all the dust from the diamonds will fall down, and the diamonds at the end, they will luster. Similarly, with the good association of the devotees, of the Vaishnavas, the so many anarthas within our heart will get disappear, and we'll try to get all the good qualities of the Vaishnavas. Like we have so many lust within our heart, we have so many anger within our heart, we have so many false ego, anger, and greed within our heart. They are just like fires. They are just like negativity within us. So those negativity will disappear, and will accumulate all the good qualities like humility, faith, all the 26 good qualities of the Vaishnavas will try to acquire only by the good association. That is by the good friction, by the positive friction. So here we have seen, because of the intoxication, Krishna is setting an example. The intoxication, how could it affect? In not only here, we have seen lot of kingdoms. They were come down to earth because of this intoxication. They were intoxicated. From this intoxicated, they could not manage their kingdom. They could not manage their duties. So till today also we see so many drunk driving, so many schools to rehabilitation centers, and if we drive and if you drink and drive, you get a ticket. So basically in the newspaper you will see so many by drinking, this happened, that happened, so many things we see. So this is not only this kind of intoxication. There is another type of intoxication also is there, the intoxication of the false prestige. That I have to rise. People are intoxicated to rise in the ladder, intoxicated to acquire more wealth, intoxication to go to your iPhone to check your WhatsApp messages. Intoxication that, yeah, I have 5,000 followers in my Instagram, I have my Facebook page is liked by so many devotees. So these are kind of different kind of intoxication. So this intoxication we should, we should avoid. Instead, we should be spiritually intoxicated like the gopis. The gopis were always thinking about Krishna. Without Krishna, there is nothing in their life. Morning starts with thinking about Krishna, evening starts with thinking about Krishna. Always, nirantara, they used to think about Krishna. They were always intoxicated with the thought of the Krishna. So similar approach we should have ruchi in the sadhu shastra and guru. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Simply by moments association with a sadhu, one can attain perfection. Now looking at the intoxication, our Srila Prabhupada has said these 4 regulative principles to us. One of them is no intoxication. And finally I was reading to one of the Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj lecture. He says, if you want to utter pure Suddha Nam of Krishna, then you should do always a sadhu sangha. Otherwise, you will just utter the alphabets like Ha, then Re, then Ra, then Ma, like that. But if you really have the sadhu sangha, really have the good association, good friction between the devotees, then only you can utter the Suddha Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So always then we should aspire just to avoid the negative friction. Then we should go always for the positive friction, which is like then we all will shine like a diamond. So by this process of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Sadhu Sangha during this Corona time, we all are aspiring to have this kind of friction between the devotees, so that all the anartha slowly will get out from our heart. At least from my heart, I will say like that. So with this I would like to conclude. And please forgive me if inadvertently I have uttered something wrong. And yeah, so that's all. So with this I'll conclude. Thank you so much.